I'm reading this book at the moment called A Million Miles in a Thousand Years by Donald Miller, which was given to me for my birthday. I'm about 68 pages in so far, but there's this bit that I've just read about this father talking about his daughter and how she's caught up in what he calls a bad story. She started dating this guy who's started encouraging her to take drugs, and he's saying that she's not living the best version of her life and she's not being the best version of herself that she can be. But the line that hit me the hardest is when she's recovering and he says she knows who she is, she just forgot for a little while. I felt like I was a cave and those words were just echoing around my body for the longest time. But the reason that hit me the hardest is because it made me realise that I feel like that every now and again, as I'm sure many of you do too. I forget what my purpose is, and I don't mean purpose as in my fate or my destiny or my path that's been created by some greater being. I mean a purpose that I've created for myself, a life that I want to lead, and the sort of person I want to be at the end of it. But every now and again I feel like I've woken up in a darkened room and I can't quite see the direction I'm supposed to be heading in. Deep down I know who I am and I know where I'm supposed to be going, but because I didn't see it immediately when I woke up, I sort of forget, and I feel like I have to spend the rest of that day scrabbling around in the dark trying to find some way to turn the light back on. And sometimes I find it, but sometimes it takes someone else to turn it back on for me. At the end of last year / the beginning of this year, I went through a little bit of a rough patch. Something I'd been working on for the last 4 years. I was told wouldn't be going ahead exactly the way we thought it would, and it affected me specifically. It was a project I started when I just turned 16, and I'm 20 now, so it's been 4 years. But I chose not to go to college so I could focus on it, and I didn't do my A-levels. It was something I felt like I'd sacrificed a large part of my life for, and a large part of me, and so to be told that it wouldn't be going ahead exactly how we planned was quite heartbreaking. And for a good 2 to 3 months after being told, I felt entirely lost. I felt like I was entering into the new year, being pushed reluctantly into the unknown. I literally had no idea what my life was going to be like in 2012. For the 4 years before that point, I'd woken up with a purpose. I knew which direction I was heading, I knew where I wanted to get to, and I knew who I had to be to do it. But then everything changed, and I suddenly didn't know what my purpose was. I didn't know why I was waking up in the morning. Now, when you're going through something like that, in my experience, you feel upset, but you quite literally just have to keep calm and carry on. You just have to keep pushing forward. And I felt like I was doing quite a nice job of pushing on, considering. But it took meeting a certain group of people that made me realise how much better off and happier I could be. If this last year of my life could be turned into a montage, it would look like that scene in The Lion King where you've got Timon, Simba and Pumbaa walking along the bridge and Simba's growing up. That's how it felt to me. These people were like my Timon and Pumbaa, teaching me how they lived their lives and what their purpose was when they woke up in the morning, and they sort of adopted me and took me under their wing, and never have I felt such a sense of family with a group of people that I didn't really know that well at the beginning of this year. What made me realise how much better I was feeling and how much better off in life I was my mum saying to me, "You've got your light back." So we're almost into 2013 now, and it's almost been a whole year since I met the first person who helped me flick the light switch back on. And I'm the happiest I think I've ever been. And it's thanks to these creative, talented, wonderful, barking mad people who swept into my life just as the lights were going off. And I've never really said thank you, so thank you. And I think it's safe to say that I know who I am, I just forgot for a little while.